Welcome to Soul Nectar Show. This is your host, Kerri Hummingbird, and this is a show where we explore all things essence, all things having to do with that space of self that's larger than this physical body. And I'm always bringing onto the show people who are going to share amazing stories with you of transformation, of awakening, of mystical, cool experiences so that we can know that life is just more than this drab 9 to 5 going to work and having a boring experience. That's like life can be so much more. And this is the show for that. Woohoo! So I wanted to introduce you to Swami Tirtha. He is what's your title? What's your official title?
Well, lately people are calling me the Master of Joy, and I kind of like
the Master of Joy. I love that. Joy, joy, joy. And hummingbird medicine is all about joy as well. It's all about connection to the spirit and divine and the mystical journey and joy in that process. So let me read you a little bit about Swami so you know a little bit more about this Orange Cowboy, right? There's another one, the Orange Cowboy. He's got a lot of them. He's quite a character. Okay, so here we go. Swami is the #1 best-selling author of the Ayurveda Encyclopedia and has been teaching meditation for 4 decades. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. As a teen, both his parents were tragically killed in a car accident. He transcended this adversity in profound ways through discovering the light within. So this is going to be a really wonderful, we're going to hear a lot about how to transform from difficult things. He presented to the White House Alternative Medicine Commission and to international medical schools, including Johns Hopkins. Now, that is a really good school. Swami was recognized as a monk by his guru in the Himalayas in 1990 and was recognized as a natural-born shaman and healer by shamans in the Amazon rainforest. He was also born with intuitive mediumship gifts. His life mission is to help others realize their dreams and live in joy and celebration they deserve to create peace in our world. And I can totally resonate with that mission. I agree with you 100%. And you have a screenplay that's being made into a Hollywood movie, a comedy about listening to your heart and trusting to be yourself around others. And so his website actually is orangecowboy.com. And you guys will get a link to that. But, Swami, you're just you guys should know the reason why I know Swami is because of the Evolutionary Business Council. And I've been connected with you for about a year now. And watching your posts and watching your energy and watching you come in. And it's like, I feel like kindred spirits because I think a lot of people take this thing too seriously. Like I know I have in the past. I've taken this experience seriously. But, you've been through some big tragedies in your life. And here you are, the Orange Cowboy, teaching people about joy. So how does one do that? Tell us a little bit about, about your journey, things you feel are relevant for people to really, who might be in a stuck place. This has been 2017 was a difficult year. I think we can all agree there was a lot of stuff that's being processed. And a lot of people are probably in that space of the hard part, right?
Yeah.
And so how do we, so tell us about your life experience so they know a little bit more about you. And then we'll start talking about, we'll let spirit take the lead. Okay, go.
Sure. Okay. So around 4th grade or so, I started to get these dreams at night that were not really pleasant dreams. There were different dreams, but the theme was always that I'll be separated from my parents and I'll have multiple sets of parents. And over the next 10 years, I kept getting similar types of dreams. And then I was about 17 and I had a waking vision where everything went black and I started crying and I said to my parents, I don't want you to die. And when I could see again, they were like looking at me like, what? What are you talking about? And one year they were in a car accident and they passed. And kind of freaked me out. Obviously, it was a tragedy. I've come to realize more recently that that's all of that stuff, who was talking to me and I was being told, this probably prepared me and buffered the blow. And I just heard like a hawk.
Yeah, my parakeet.
Oh, okay.
The parakeets decided to be part of this performance today.
Yeah, that's too shaman. I'm a shaman. That's like validation from the parakeet. Go, go, go. What's your parakeet's name?
Sky.
Sky. Okay, perfect, perfect. And I was going to say Porgy or something like that, but that's what
No?
I thought. Porgy. So the tragedy was there. And at the time, it was like, well, that was not a gift. I didn't think that was a gift because I looked at it from the negative. Like, why are you telling me this if I can't do anything about it? And it, to some degree, colored subtly my childhood, knowing that this fated thing was going to happen, not knowing it here, but subconsciously in my heart. And what the good side of it was, it said, I have to research this mystical thing. I didn't believe in this, that any of this could happen. My grandmother came to me in my dreams and told me somebody died. How can that be? It's just not what we were brought up with in the 1960s and early 70s. And so one day I was in college. I was in college for radio, TV, and film. And as I was walking to class, there was a sign on the door that said, meditation. Oh, what's that? Oh, the Beatles. The Beatles just did that. So we heard a little bit about it. But it's not like today where there's a yoga studio in every corner. And so everything they said in the meditation class was like, yeah, this is cool. This is mystical. I started watching Star Trek, and it's like, there's more to life than we were told. And so the tragedy propelled me into this very exciting life, which it saved me. I didn't have to really deal with the grief of that. The meditation brought me peace in my heart, and I could deal with life a little bit better. And I just jumped into it fully. I finished college and meditation school. I studied with the Transcendental Meditation Group. I became a TM teacher. I went on to levitate with them and all that stuff. And then it was like Spirit said, okay, it's time to come back to the world. And I went back into what I knew, which was radio, TV, and film, always transitioning between the spirit world and the material world. And I was there about 10 years, and it was pretty desolate for me. But during that time, to support my spirit, I studied Ayurvedic medicine, Vedic astrology, and said, you know what, I'm going to just go to India and thank Mother India for all of this the only thing that's brought me life and a sense of how I can help people make sense of the world. And that's when I met my guru. I went to India in 1988. And I met my guru in Varanasi, which eventually we spent time in the Himalayas. And next 2 years later, he recognized me as the Swami, as you said, as a Swami. Swami is a person who says, Spirit gives you everything you need, so think about helping other people because your needs are met. And it's a monk, really. That's what a Swami is. And then over the years, I had started Ayurvedic medicine. I wrote the Encyclopedia of Ayurveda. And then right at 9/11, when 9/11 happened and everybody got freaked out and needed stress management, everybody stayed home. Everybody stopped coming to see me. And then Spirit said, oh, well, why don't you move upstate? It's so beautiful up there. And they showed me pictures. So I called the realtor, and she said, what are you looking for? And I said, oh, open spaces, water, trees, a little bit of everything beautiful. And she hung up the phone, and Spirit said, what are you looking for? And I started to give the whole list. They said, no, what? Just one word. What are you looking for? And I go, paradise. And then the next week I get an email from the realtor, and on the property it says, your own little piece of paradise.
That's hilarious.
So here I am.
You're in your own little piece of paradise.
I am,
and
yes.
You've been there ever since.
I've been here ever since.
That's great. I love what you said about Swami is a person. I've been on that ever since you said that. Swami is a person whose spirit gives everything to. And actually, I feel like spirit gives everything to everybody. It's just whether or not you recognize it.
It's so true.
Because I think I know in my own journey, and I've only recently gotten to that place where I realize that I'm being cared for. Yeah. There's still this little tug. I'd like it to not be there, but there is still this little tug of like, well, don't I have to do it? Don't I have to make it happen? There's this little tug because I'm such a doer. Like I love doing. I love it. I love being in flow. I love being in action. I love being aligned. I love it when I know what I'm supposed to be doing and it all happens and I'm doing it. Like that's my favorite part.
Yay.
I like that part.
That's it. You did it.
And
You're in joy.
Yes. Now, when I'm not in that place, I have a harder time, and I think I think other people will resonate with me about this.
Right.
Either if I'm confused or doubtful, if I don't have clarity, or if things I do have clarity, but it's the wrong timing or something, and I'm blocked to doing, that part is like so hard to trust sometimes. Talk a little bit about that.
This is really the crux, isn't it, Kerri? Because let's look at the word doing. Let's give it two definitions. So the doing is consciously having the intention and the thought to be in joy, to be in flow, to be in service, to love oneself. That's the doing, which is very easy. I mean, there's no heavy lifting. It's challenging. It's not. It's simple. It's not easy. But
I would agree with you there. It's simple. It's not easy.
So when we wake up in the morning, smile, because that, even if you're not happy, it tells the brain you're happy and it starts to make you happier. It secretes the happy hormones. Pat yourself on the back every time you finish a project, even if it's a small project. At the end of the day, good day. Oh, what am I grateful for? These are simple tools that align us. Ask the angels, be around me all the time. Help me hear you. I know you're talking to me, but I don't always hear you. Help me listen when I do hear you.
Well, I always hear it because if I'm not listening, if I say I'm in my thoughts, then I'll hear the ringing in my ear. Like when there's a big message, I'll be like, "Nyah," and I'm like, oh, there's a big message that needs to be communicated. I need to stop and be quiet so I can receive it because I'm not listening.
So that's the doing. That's the healthy doing. That's the doing that lets us, the healthy doing is the doing that lets us let the angels do the work for us.
Why are we here if the angels are going to do the work for us?
Okay, so we are in, when in 2010, 2009, 2010, I was in the Amazon rainforest with the Pachamama Alliance, a wonderful group out of San Francisco. And it's a group founded by Lynn Twist, who wrote The Soul of Money, which is an amazing book. And how to use money properly. Properly means for spiritual purposes. Anyway, the shamans there told me that I was a shaman, natural born shaman and healer. But they said there's this eagle condor prophecy.
Yes, I've heard of this. Yes.
The eagle is the Western countries, the logic, the rational, the science. And the condor is the heart, the southern countries, the spirit, the soul. And in every era, one of them would dominate the other. But in this era, they're flying side by side.
Oh, I love that. I got chills.
And it starts in 2010, 2009, 2010, I woke up on New Year's Day, which was 2 years ago yesterday, to a vision. I was getting out of an elevator into paradise. And the angels were singing 2010 is 2012. And I wrote that song because of that. And in 2012, we crossed the planet, crossed the galactic center of the universe. And we're in what's called the age, I was told, the age of celebration. And then when I was in Guatemala for a summer solstice in 2012, the shaman there, the Mayan shaman, said, it's not the end of the world, it's the beginning of the age of celebration. And a friend of mine was with the Mexican jungle with shamans, and they said the same thing. So we're in the age of celebration. I'm coming to your answer, actually.
Because I know people right now are saying, how is this the age of celebration? Like, they're like, dang, it's been hard. Like,
For those, it's easier and lighter. We're having these conversations more and more, for starters. Mm-hmm. People are waking up to their intuition and their psychic gifts out of nowhere. They're getting scared, but what is it? It's a good thing. And so the work of today, because it's the age of celebration, the work of today is to play.
I love that. And I want to play. I think, though, that we're so conditioned. We're so conditioned to work and to think that it's hard and that we've got to be like from here, always thinking and planning and goals, and then lashing ourselves if we're not, if we're not working hard enough.
Dogma.
Yes.
It's, it was true in the age and the era where we were brought up to say, this is what we have to do to not destroy the planet. But in 2012, we crossed the galactic center, which is the first time, I'm told, that any human race has ever gotten that far without destroying itself on the planet. So we are literally in a place there's no history for. And the only coming closer to the Sirius sun, which is the enlightenment, the bright sun. And our job is to invent, to create, to build the pillars of light of a world of celebration.
Oh my goodness. Swami, this is where, okay, so this totally jives with what I felt in my heart. Yeah. And with the EBC, like so many of us are thought leaders. Yeah. And this past year I was in the mastermind program, which is to help me find my voice and my message that I want to bring to the world. And I finally have it. And I told you before the broadcast, but it took me a whole year of like working on that program and going deep and like, what is it I'm here to do? Like they keep showing me, like you were saying too, the big stage, and I'm out in the big stage and I'm teaching all these millions of people. And I'm like, what are they going to learn from me? It's ridiculous. You're going to be disappointed. So I was, cancel clear. But I was going through that process of like, what am I here to do? Right. And it was play. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't like play as a message. They're going to look at me and think I'm crazy. And I had the whole crazy complex this whole year. Mm-hmm. But my friend in the mastermind was saying to me, Kerri, there is no manual for this part. You're a thought leader. Yeah, there you go. That means you're a frontiers woman. You're like creating the path for the future.
Visionary. You're the visionary.
You're the visionary. And I was like, I'm the visionary? This is going to be so crazy planet. So anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's like, I'm a visionary?
You and your parakeet. Get your parakeet on your shoulder and all.
Parakeet's down here. So this is such a transition. And I want to say, like, I love what you're saying. I also want to say on this journey, my own personal experience of it, is this expansion of love through my whole being. And that sounds all juicy and wonderful. And I also want to say that the process of expanding into greater love also seems to include clearing away old patterns, old paradigms, fear, and low vibration emotions and things like that. And so every layer I go through, I go through this part where almost like the Maya is there. It's like for a little while, I only see, like my lens is seeing these horrible things or how awful thoughts or bad feelings or, and I think that can't be true. I'm like, wait a second. Like it's even happened with my partner. I met the love of my life. He is the love of my life. I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I've had visions. We are like a divine union. We are a divine couple. This is like blessed. And I mean, to the core of my being, I know this. And even in this past year, especially in the last month of 2017, I had these moments where I was like, all the opposite was happening in my perspective. It was like, I this isn't working, or I don't want this, or, all this yucky stuff. And I finally begged, because I knew that was a lie. I begged at my altar. I'm like, please, guides, please. I know this isn't true. You need to help me. I don't know why I'm perceiving this. Please help me. And like in 15 minutes, it like whoosh. Yeah. And I was back in love. I was like, what is this crazy thing? Tell us more about this. I mean, I need to know, because am I the only one experiencing this?
Oh, no. See, right at the end of 2017, we had three major cosmic events within 3 days of one another. We had the end of Mercury retrograde. We had the big one was Saturn crossing the galactic center. And people woke. I mean, people woke. And, when you wake in the morning, the first thing, stick your breath, smell the bits, there's going to be stuff coming out. And it came out, and it's out. And I have a client I've been seeing for years, and last week her realizations were, to the roof, just amazing, to the moon, amazing what she realized for herself. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. we woke. And the other side of it is there's so much light in the world. And as you said, there's so much joy and truth in your heart now that the darkness, there's shadows there, but it cannot overpower the light anymore.
No, because I know it's an illusion.
Yeah.
Like I'm aware, like I can see.
You know it in your heart.
I know it in my heart that it's not true. Whatever I'm seeing or thinking,
right,
that this is a lie. And if I'm having those bad feelings, that can't be the truth, because that's not the truth.
Exactly. You just won. You've won. And for the folks who are saying, yeah, but I still have some of that stuff, the way to get out of it is not to look at it unless if you can't stop looking at it, but to look at your joy, do things that give you joy and gratitude. And there's a wonderful quote by the bliss guy, Joseph Campbell. He said something to the effect of, bliss has a way of creating doors where there were once only walls. Bliss has a way of creating doors where there was once only walls.
Okay, I love this. And I want to go back a step.
Yeah.
Focus on your joy. I love that. And what I want to say is, there's this way of spiritual bypass.
Yes.
And I personally, the shamanic path that I've been on has been about looking in the darkness but not believing it.
Okay.
And bringing the gratitude and the love through that dark experience.
Yeah.
Because then on the other side of that is claiming the gift and claiming the power. This is the power path.
Right.
I've been studying with Jose and Lena Stevens. So the power path is like knowing the truth in your heart and claiming the gift in every experience. And I had a powerful ceremony where in the morning I woke and I saw the sun. The sun came in my eyes, and the first rays of the sun came in my eyes. And the message I received from the Great Spirit was, Kerri, everything is a gift. Oh, wow, everything is a gift.
Yeah.
So your parents passing away was a gift.
Yeah.
And a lot of us can say, but that doesn't feel like a gift. That feels like torture. Talk some about that, because I do feel like we need to see that it's a gift, but also claim the lesson, because I keep telling my clients this: if you don't claim the lesson, then you'll keep getting more opportunities to claim the lesson, which is the suffering.
Right.
And so it's sort of like this being with that shadow, receiving, accepting the blessings of the painful experience to learn the lesson and let go of the suffering. The suffering part isn't necessary. It's sometimes painful, but does that make sense? I'm getting lost in the whole thing, but I need you to sort it.
Suffering happens when we expect, when we're experiencing, we tell ourselves shouldn't be happening.
Yes, we say it shouldn't be happening, but if it's all a gift, it should be happening.
Well, what I mean is we start to resist in that moment. Oh, no, I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. There's something wrong here. That's the suffering part. If we accept it in the moment and say, one of the things I do is I say, either thank you for this gift.
Thank you for this gift, even if I don't know what it is.
Or I say, how is this a gift for me if I really need to see it?
Please show me how this is a gift.
Or thank you for showing me, as if it's already been done. And I swear to you, it happens, like you said, instantly.
Instant.
See why these things. And now, not always, there are things that come in time, but you get enough of them that the experience is, okay, this is not blind faith. I know I'm not getting an answer, but I usually do. And I know those answers, some of them come later on.
I like that you said it's not blind faith, because this path really is about testing. I know Sarah Wiseman, I interviewed her, and she teaches people how to trust their intuition.
Right.
By actually testing it.
Yes, absolutely.
You can test it.
And then what people will say, like somebody said to me, can you really talk with Archangel Michael? And I said, yeah. He said, well, how do you know that I'm talking with Archangel Michael? Because you couldn't find a parking spot in New York City, and suddenly there was one right in front of the Michael Church, and you went inside and called me. I'm guessing pretty strongly that was Michael who put you there. Or I'll say to somebody, okay, so you're in a traffic jam. I have a friend, our friend we were just talking about in California, Mark. He was stuck in traffic. I said, all right, Michael, can you open the traffic up? He goes, oh my God, it's moving that quickly. So then he says, well, how do you know that really happened?
How do you know that's really happened? This is where
so the other side of it, Kerri, is people, like you said earlier, people can experience a miracle, but then doubt it happened, or doubt, because we're looking for something almost hurting, impactful, when it's the simplest, the most genius is simple and gentle and loving and nurturing. You say, well, yeah, but how do I know that really happened? Because you experienced it. But people up here will say, no, that's not logical. That's not rational. Hey, people call me crazy my whole life. When people do that, I say, thanks, that's another crazy badge I'll put right here with the rest of them on my chest.
Yeah, but who's happy?
That's right. You could be happy or you could be right. It's another one of my songs.
You could be happy or you could be right. You know, I love that you said experience, because that is the shamanic way. And I'll just back up. Well, you were also talking about focusing on what's wrong. It creates suffering. That's what our whole and maybe it's shifting now. So I want to give props, but that's what the psychotherapy industry has been about since I was in it from 2 years old. And that was my experience of it. I mean, 20 years of my life spent in weekly psychotherapy sessions, focusing on what was wrong.
You know the joke about the guy who's died? He's at, and his psychotherapist is at his funeral, and he says, such a shame, we had so much more to cover.
I know. Let's dissect it some more. And this is, I know that you have experienced this too. The shamans, like I've worked with the shamans in Peru, right? And the shamans are like, Western people are crazy. Like they catalog bad things. They catalog them. They're like, and they put all the energy on the bad things. They like detail them, describe them, make lists of descriptions. I mean, it's like they prove it's possible. They prove it happens over and over and over again. Yeah. And it's, well, you're working with quantum energy. What do you focus on grows.
Right.
So you focus on, like, there's all these cancers. Well, now there's all these cancers. Just like, there you go. You were a powerful creator. Congratulations. You created it.
There's an example. There's a higher incidence of people buying sleep medicine, insomnia medicine. The research finds there's no increase in insomnia in the country. There's an increase in commercials about insomnia medicine.
And so it plants the seed.
And people buy the stuff. So,
and Swami, talking about the television, I never turn it on anymore. If I turn it on, it's because I'm going to watch a movie, but I'm consciously watching that movie.
Yeah.
I'm not accepting what's in it. And I never leave the television on in the background.
Oh,
ever.
Yeah.
Because it's planting seeds in your brain and people fall asleep to television.
Yeah.
My mom falls asleep to the television and she wonders why she's full of anxiety. I'm like, Mama, please stop. Turn the TV off. Find some nice classical music.
Most of the commercials, well, we're getting into the dissecting of the negatives. So
I know we are. Let's switch. But see how easy that is? The thought tunnels start off. And one time I had this experience where I was shown this by Spirit. Spirit showed me that everything out there is like this cosmic play. It's like there's all these moving pieces, like little gears all working together in concert. And everything is joyfully working and playing together and like, and they're all out there playing and working and turning in the way that they know how. And they're just all doing it, they're doing it. And if you've ever seen fire coals at night, like when the fire burns down and the coals are there and you watch the coals, they do that. They make patterns and they play. Yeah. The fire moves around the coals. Like it has a pattern. It has a synchronicity. So Spirit was showing me that is always happening. Always, always, always.
Always.
What stops the magic is when we go in here and go down into the thought tunnel. And then that leads to the mind maze. And we're trying to figure it out. Right. And you're like a mouse looking for the cheese. There is no cheese. You'll never find it. You'll get lost in the thought tunnel the rest of your life.
It's all, and the flow is about breathing. We can breathe. We can be grateful. We could pat ourselves on the shoulders. We can just say, this is what I'd love for my life. You know, what is your idea of paradise? For all the people who are really stuck, what is your paradise? What if it could be just the craziest thing? If you won $1 million, what would you do with your life? And if you're really still stuck, then say, God, please show me a vision. Give me something to dream about, or let me hear it. I'm sure you're telling me, but there's always a solution to a solution to a solution.
You know, I think of it now like wiping the brain. It's like when I get in that space, I visualize a big chalkboard filled up with stuff, and I start erasing it. I breathe out and I erase it. I don't need any of that. And sometimes I just blow it in a stone and I put it on the earth and I say, you know what? There's no way I'm going to figure that out. It's never going to happen. My brain wants to. So now we're talking about the ego and the condor. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
Like
well, that's why we can't throw the other out. It's not us and them. It's a balance.
It's the eagle and the condor because it happens within us.
We have like metaphysics and quantum physics are coming together now. So there's a value to all the chalk on the board in the mathematics in the quantum physics lab, you know. But if they put up stuff that's irrational, illogical chalk, that's really what you want to wipe away.
Well, so now this gets to like, what's the order of things? And the order of things is here, here. They work together really well. If it comes from, you know, and when I say here, I mean spirit, like spirit coming in through here, through the soul, and coming up,
right,
and forming this.
Well, I just want to be careful because everybody's starting from a different location.
Okay, yeah. So tell me more, because these are things I've been.
I want to honor. I need to honor everybody wherever they are. So if somebody is coming to this from the brain and the genius and the thinking, and let's just say that they're in quantum physics, to tell them to come from the spirit is like another language to them, but they're coming to it because it's all the same. Ultimately, we're coming from a field of duality to a field of unity.
Yeah.
Enlightenment, the highest level of enlightenment, is realizing not that I am God and this is not God, but that too is God. We are the same.
Everything is. The shadow is too.
The shadow is. So what's not?
There's nothing outside.
So some are proving that from the material to the spiritual, like the quantum physics, and some are proving it from the inside to the outside, which are the shamans and the spiritualists and things like that. We're talking about the same thing. We're the blind men looking at the elephant from different angles. So we just want to honor everybody and celebrate and community with everybody, because that's how life becomes exciting. When I can sit there and talk with a quantum physicist and we're both going, yeah, baby, yeah, you know, that's community enlightenment. And that's, to me, the highest level of enlightenment.
Well, and we all have our sacred gifts to share, you know, bring to this.
Right.
This puzzle. I like to think of it like a big puzzle, and we all provide one piece of the puzzle. And so all of us are important. If we want to complete the puzzle, we've got to have all of us.
Right.
So.
And all of us as unique, authentic individuals.
I do feel, however, that, you know, on a global, everything so below as above, and, you know, macro and micro, it's all the same. It's happening at the atom level. So we are each integrating the eagle and the condor within each of us.
Right, exactly.
And I love this thing that one of my mentors, Heather Ashamara, I don't know if you know her, but she studied with Don Miguel Ruiz. She told me at one point, we were talking about do your best, because do your best is one of the 4 agreements from the book of 4 agreements. Do your best is one of the ones that's the hardest for us in the Western culture, because we like to judge ourselves, like so judgy. So, you know, always like trying to be perfect. And so do your best is a tricky one. And do your best is about, there's like, doing your best one day could be 80% of effort. Doing your best another day could be 10% effort, but that could be your best. So in a way, I always think of that as like everything is a relationship, and in the moment, a combination of factors. And so this eagle condor thing, I feel, is the same. It's like within each one of us, we're probably negotiating different levels of each that we're constructed by an innate design to do. Like mine would probably be more condor, because that's more comfortable for me. I did the other thing for a long time and it hurt me. And so now I do this and I do from the spirit.
Right.
Because I'm better that way. I'm better that way.
Right.
But maybe other people have different balances of the energies.
And it's all coming, we're coming to the same place now. So I think that's the ultimate, rather than say, no, you have to do it my way, or I have to do it your way, or there's your way and you go down your path and try to accept and love. And it's all okay. So here's what okay, thank you. So they're telling me this. There's an example again for listeners who may be confused. I'm kind of a workaholic, to use a negative word. I love to work. I love to create things, and specifically more and more, I love to create this new world. There are times where I will just say, I'm sitting here, I've been watching these comedy shows on the internet all day. And I start to notice that I want to beat myself over or go, no, this is my best for my spirit right now. This is what being best, people will naturally think, oh, that means I have to work harder and harder. It could mean I have to play harder and harder. And how much I've done, I've just done 4 days of nonstop computer work. I think I deserve a day of celebration and watching things that make me laugh and be enjoy. So my best is the best for my spirit. That's how I would say it, to make that a little clearer for people.
Yeah. And this gets back around to that, like, what's doing?
What's doing? Hey, what's doing?
What's doing? And I think the thing is like, I think, at least I notice in my mind wants to create some rule that I can just like apply to all situations. And the thing is, we're in constant change. There's no rule. There is just, we're flowing with this thing that's in motion, that's in evolution, that's changing, that's growing. And so to be in the moment with it, to be in the now, right? That is where the power is.
I think the only rule is honor our spirit, because sometimes spirit will have us more internal and sometimes it'll have us more external. And it's a weaving process. I think it's a cosmic loom that's weaving the inner spirit with the outer spirit until we become one quilt, one tapestry.
The inner spirit weaving with the outer spirit and the loom. That is a great image.
Just came to me. Thank you, guys.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
The cosmic weaver. Well, even quantum physics uses terms like that, I think.
There's a song I learned from Heather Ash when I studied with her, and it was, I am the weaver, I am the woven one. I am the dreamer, I am the dream.
That's beautiful. That's everything.
That's everything. Wow. So we're weaving also this physical reality and this spiritual reality as well.
Yes, we're literally. And so for people who are thinking, oh my God, I'm always in transition, it's like, well, that's the best place to be. That is the best career to have. You'll have it on your business card, transitioner.
Always in transition. Yeah, I would say that I've had to let go of many things, this sense of permanence. I'm a Cancer, and as such, I tend to like things the same. I tend to like comfort or a sense of security or a sense of home base, or this little space won't change so I can feel comfortable, And Spirit has gradually gone like,
until everything is your home. I mean, there'll be some remains of a comfort home. Like I have my paradise here, but Spirit is saying, oh, I want you to move now and to a bigger paradise. So because the whole world will be your home as you see it literally is. You're there too. Your soul is in that when I go in the world, because I spent so many years as a monk, reclusive, I said, okay, I will go in the world, but I need for you, Spirit, to have earth angels at every step you want me to be, to make sure that I stay on this path of effortlessness and joy and heart and spirit. I don't want to have to try to do the lifting because I'm not smart enough. I'm not wise enough. And it's no fun. So if you want me to influence more people, get me an earth angel at that node that will help me get your message out there. So these are tricks I've learned to navigate the world, to make it easier for folks.
I do have a question for you. Okay. This is just, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm always vulnerable on this show, but so I've merged families with my sweetie. It's such a blessing. And I mentioned I'm a Cancer.
Family.
And sometimes it's super vulnerable because I feel like especially since we've integrated households, like it's been a lot of chaos and flux and 6 energies where there used to be 3, and big energies too, because the little children are like bright lights. Like they are like lit up.
Yeah. And
they're active minded, and they're active bodied, and they want to know everything. And plus the little girl is like me, like there's a kindred spirit there. So I'm facing myself. So sometimes I feel challenged by being able to be, because I'm thinking about your time as a monk. I really enjoyed my time in between my last marriage and this marriage with just my boys. Yeah. And it felt like all 3 of us were recovering. Like we each would spend time in our own rooms and just be quiet. Yeah. It was a lot of being quiet and going in. Yeah. And that felt safe. It felt really beautiful and peaceful and wonderful. And like I was really accessing such clear guidance and messages. And the trick over the last 6 months of integrating families for me has been a lot of awareness, like a ton of awareness. What am I doing with my energy? Am I allowing people to like suckle on me constantly? If I'm getting grumpy, is that because I'm like got 7 cords or something, and is there space for me? And where is my space? And my office is out in the open here. And so everybody has to be quiet when I'm doing a broadcast. There's like all these dynamics of like, now we got to consider all of these people and all of their needs, and it's being in the world. Yeah. So how do you navigate that? Like to be in both places at once, to have that inner quiet, that peace, and then to be in the world, which can really trigger things, inside you to want to like, God shows where your heart's not open, or you're like claiming this is my space, get away, like, yeah. How do we do this? This is the best question to ask at this time. You're asking this question for everybody, because we're all coming into a new world. And the first answer is first pat yourself on and your sons on the shoulders, because you completed that cycle of your life. You graduated. So that's awesome. Celebrate that. Take them out, just the 4 of you, and say, holy cow, look, we did it. And God has now brought us a whole new level to celebrate. So that's the first thing. We always have to honor what we've done. And that even if we didn't think we did it, Spirit says, okay, we're going to lift you up because. Then it's a matter of just feeling our way through. There's no history. There's no books that tell us this. It's up to us to feel our way through it. So I'll go out, and Spirit wants me out there, and I'm out there and I'm having a great time and I'm helping a lot of people. I come home and suddenly this hurts and that's a problem. And I go, what's going on? It's, oh my goodness, I have all these still limited beliefs in me. And that's why I have a lot of time still to clear them out. So for you've cleared out enough with your boys that you're able to more full time be around others. So like you said, you're catching your limited beliefs. I do things like feng shui. So check the feng shui of your house.
Maybe you need a little space for your, I don't know if you have one, but if you do, to make your recordings. Maybe you do need to get up earlier, just time for yourself, or go out in the middle of the day for 10 minutes or whatever. But there's no, I can't give you the answer, because there is no the answer other than this is the joy. Celebrate, figure it out in a celebrative way. Feel our way into it, because
There's no right answers.
We've learned everything. We know everything. It's a matter of celebrating, and we don't know how to celebrate. Remember the joys we're in, and then say, okay, you know, are there things I need to face to release them? But always keep going forward. That's what I've learned. There's an expression I've heard, fall forward. If we're going to always fall, perhaps, at least fall forward.
Yeah. I love that. Find everything is a gift. It's all, we're making it up. We get to learn how to experience joy through all of these situations in our life. And make more space for love. Like, make more space for unity, make more space by clearing the Maya that comes up.
Here's what I see as an outsider to your family. You've got 3 little kids who are the latest incarnations on this planet. How cool is that?
They are so, like,
what are they bringing
lit
in?
Up.
What conversations or experiences can you have with them to help them invent something for the world today? So I had a friend, he had a little lit up girl, and that one summer day they were going to a picnic and it started raining, and the dad says, we can't go. The little girl went outside, went like this to the clouds went away, and they went to their picnic.
Wow.
So what magic, what gifts do your little ones have that you can discover, foster, and help them develop? We have high school kids inventing bitcoins and $1 million to help the world in a secure, safe way. And that was unheard of 30 years ago. What's to say that a little child can't, at 6 years old, come up with a solution right now?
Do you know what? I love that. I got to share this little story. I know we're getting close to the end, but this is so fun. So on New Year's Day, Akeem and I took the little ones for a hike, and we took them on a long hike. Like, it's, you know, it's up and down through the forest, you know, like, and they were getting tired and they were grumpy and they're like, I don't want to do that, you know, like, this is hard. And I finally, and the Yamina, the girl, she just loves magical stuff. Like, she's always watching me and like wanting to learn from me. And she told me she wants to be a hummingbird and all this stuff. So she's walking and she's kind of trudging. And I said, sweetie, we're really close to where we're going to stop, which is the magical waterfall where the fairies and the elves live. And we're going to get there and we get blessings. So let's, you know, we're just going to get a little bit further. So when we got there, we got the blessings. I was like, okay, now clear chakras, you know, from the water, and like ask for the blessings. And she's like, and then I said, okay, let's pray that the fairies and the elves fill our water with beautiful giggles, you know, so that we can feel strengthened and joyful, and we can make the rest of the trip with ease and grace. And she's like, okay, we're praying in the water. And then we drank the water, and I'm like, do you feel giggles? And she's like, I do feel giggles. So I was thinking about what you're saying. It's like creating the magic out here in the world.
Yes, they've got gifts that with us as the fulcrums will propel them into the world, and they'll bring solid messages and hard, real. They're going to bring real stuff in the world, just as we are, but they're bringing in even more. We don't even know yet what it is.
Wow, we are in a whole new age, and we're on a new frontier, aren't we?
Redefine how you see family, because that's the way to see it. You are the angel lights. You're the angel warriors, but the warrior is the war of love, so there's no war.
There's no more war. Oh, beautiful, Swami. So now you also you were talking about how you love to create because you love what you do. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
You've created something really special. You created something really special for this year. Now, are people going to be able to access it? When are they going to be able to access it? And tell us more about it, what you've created.
Which special? I've created a
You
lot of
created the joy.
the
When
joy.
does it,
Oh yeah, I
the joy?
just created a course called 21 Days of Living in Joy. It's based on my book, 21 Days of Joy. And it's just an extension of this, where every single day, you know, science says if you do something for 21 days, you create neural pathways in your brain. How would you like joy to become a habit?
I want that.
So you said there are people listening who don't know how to make joy. Make it a habit. You can read this book one a day for 21 days. Then if you want to go deeper, I have a 21-day video course, and it's launching. I have it for the 9th of this month. And it's at orangecowboy.com, and it'll launch in about a week from now.
Awesome. That's so fabulous.
There'll be a discussion about insights of joy, a meditation about joy, but not close your eyes and be peaceful. There's enough of that. This is living, working, how you create joy in the world for yourself. Some of it is to calm down, but some of it is to grow your energy and hoot. And then there's an exercise. There's some actionable exercise that you take every day to be in the flow, to create the flow, to create your joy for you and your boys.
That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much for doing this work in the world. You're such a blessing and a delight.
Yes, you are too, really.
Oh, really enjoyed this conversation. Okay, well, I hate bringing it to a close because I'm so happy with it. But all good things must pass to the next good thing comes. So I always end with giving people kisses. You can join me if you like.
Joy kisses. Joy, joy, joy.
Joy, joy. Okay. See you guys next week on Soul Nectar. Love you. Bye.